Hello, welcome to the Sabres Beerleaguers podcast about our beloved team, the Sabres. So I'm Sean and Jake here today from your Beer League Benchwarmers doing our bi-weekly podcast on the Buffalo Sabres. So season's coming to an end.
Yeah, by the time this is out, it'll be the last game of the season.
Last game. Yep. So Friday is the last game against Chicago. It is RJ's last official game calling the game, the Sabres. So I know I will be tuning into that. Sad day, but pretty cool.
It is sad. It's bittersweet because because of it being his last season, they show all of his old clips or you hear it and all that.
Right.
And it's like, man, you can just hear it in his voice. He's just it's father time caught up to him.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. Even just like when he calls the most recent games, you can definitely tell it's not that he doesn't have the energy. It's just it's age, man.
He's limited on what he can do.
Yep. That's for sure. But I will say this before we get into the Sabres. I did something last night that I thought I would never do in the 31 years of my life, but I cheered
for the Sabres or the Stars.
The Dallas Stars. Yep. I sure did. Yeah, I was cheering in the car on the way home when they won in a shootout. I'm like, oh, that's kind of, I don't know how I feel about this.
Well, that's it. But your backstory is Sean's in Texas.
I live in Texas.
So he's engulfed in the Stars world as a Sabres fan. So I was scouring through the internet and watching it on pirated sites and all that fun stuff. And it's just they scored, they tied it up 1-1. And I was like, yeah, let's go.
Right. And then they tied it at 2-2. I like that Robertson kid. He's good.
He's good. He's young too.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's going to be real good though. Yeah. Would have been nice if they won in regulation to put the nail in the coffin completely. But I was looking at the scenario. Basically, Vegas needs to win both games of the remaining, both or 3 games, whatever. They need to win out.
Yeah.
And if they lose of any kind, they're done.
They're out. Yeah. And if Dallas gets
1 point.
Yeah, they're in.
The remainder 2 games for them.
They play Arizona and Anaheim.
Hey. Arizona beat Minnesota.
I was just going to say
not happy about that. But yeah, I mean, those are 2 way lower level teams. So we'll see. Just 1 point or 1 loss. I don't care how the loss is, but yeah, no, it was very weird rooting for the Stars.
Right, dude.
The only thing that could have made it worse is if they went vintage and wore those jerseys they won the cup in.
That would have been
that is just like, ooh.
Yep, for sure. Oh, yep. I was torn doing it last night, but happy to see that it was Vegas falling apart.
As of right now, I guess the pick is projected to be a 16th overall pick. So
better than I definitely thought it was going to be.
Well, yeah, I mean that's the thing is it's lottery protected, so you almost don't want it to be top 10.
Yeah, exactly.
Because if it is, we got to go next year. Well, next year
it's a whole different season.
They're probably not going to have the injuries that they had this year, and they're going to be a better team.
Yeah, let's be honest,
this is probably going to be Eichel's last season missing the playoffs as long as he's on this Vegas team the way their trajectory is taking them.
Yep.
So it had to be this year. It obviously it's Eichel's first season there, so you want to be petty and be like, fuck you, Eichel. But you also want that pick to be top 20, because if it's not this year, it's not going to be top 20 next year. It's going to be bottom 5. So it was perfect storm this year, the way that our pettiness and future panned out.
Yep. Actually, the perfect storm. We got it a little bit better than we thought we could have gotten it. So
exactly.
Yep, I was quite pleased. But so going into the season, I could definitely tell you I did not think we'd have 2 30 goal scorers. let
Almost
alone
40 goal score. Still could happen.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. What we 2 games left, so
2 games,
3 goals.
I mean, Boston's a very good team.
Yeah.
And then Chicago is similar to
Shaky.
us.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he did score a goal against Chicago with like 5 seconds left in the game. The broken stick. Yeah, it could happen. I agree with you. I got completely. I would never have thought I wouldn't even agree that there would be 130 goal scorer,
Right.
let alone 2 with the possibility of a 40 goal scorer.
Yeah. And we have 4 20 goal scorers.
Yeah, with Olofsson, which I don't know when he scored 20. Like I can remember like 3. Like it just seems like he had the longest goal drought this season. And then he's at 20. Wow. Okay. Good for you, man.
Yeah, he turned it on.
Poso, like finding the fountain of youth. I think this is the highest goals he scored as a Sabre.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, I'm far from complaining. It's pleasantly shocked. The only thing is like the last time we had, for instance, last time we had a 40 goal scorer, it was Jeff Skinner. So it obviously doesn't equate to team success.
No. That's for sure. What was the last?
Just looking up Kyle Okposo's stats just to double check that it is his first time scoring 20. Yeah, he scored 19 his first
19. Season. Yep. And there's also a Sabres career high in points too. So.
Tied.
Is it tied?
Tied 45. 45, yeah. And actually, when the season he tied it in his first season with us, he played 9 less games. 15. Nice. Which apparently the first thing that came up is he suffered a leg injury in practice, so that's not good. With only 2 games left, and might just sit him out. And then you know how like Google will autofill things for you, and I was like Kyle Okposo, and is Kyle Okposo African American? I mean, I would think. Like, why are we asking this though?
Right. I believe he is.
Minus 34 the 1 year. Wow, that was bad. This is Sabre career high in penalty minutes.
Nice.
I
will say, I guess I'd say surprised just that he actually played a decent amount this year after the amount of, games and stuff he's missed in the previous seasons with his head injuries. So, and
yeah, it's nice to see that he's alive.
Yes. Cool thing is he was nominated for the Bill Masterton Award. He was the Sabres nominee. So I'm assuming it's probably overcoming his health issues and stuff and getting back and to being able to, I guess you could really kind of call him the comeback player of the year. Next to Skinner.
Yeah, no, I'm looking at further into his stats. Like, this is by far the most shots he's taken as a Sabre. Last season, for instance, he took 45 shots. It was only a 35-game season. Season before that, okay, so I guess last 2 seasons combined, which kind of equate to a full season. He took 127 shots. This season, he's taken 174 shots. It's the most shots he's taken in a season since the 2015-2016 season. So he is just ripping and ripping. 2 shorthanded goals. That's a career high. 8 power play goals. That's 1 goal away from a career high. He had 9 his sophomore season. Actually, no, that would be his rookie season, his first season. Nice. Yeah, no, hey, quite happy with him. I kind of, as much on board as I am with Alex Tuch getting the captaincy, I think
I'd be okay with Okposo too.
I like Okposo to have it.
Right. I mean, everybody on the team, they call him dad. They respect him like crazy. So I'd be okay with that too. Who knows how much longer he's going to be here with us anyways. Tuch's going to be here for another 3 more years. So maybe down the road make Tuck the captain. I mean, he'll probably be an alternate next year for sure.
Oh yeah. Well, that's it. Like, Kyle Post has already got the A.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, I could see Tuck getting it. Wow, we got 5 more years of Alex Tuck.
I think he was on the same length of contract wise for what Eichel had too, or cheaper.
5 more years, so 4 after this year, and then next year is Okposo's last year as a Sabre. Which, man, that's a contract I never thought would end, and it sucks because like, all right, now we're at the end of it. I'm okay keeping him,
right? If he's gonna play like this, if this was the production we could have expected the whole time, sure.
Yeah, well, that's it. Like if he was a consistent 20 goal scorer, all right, fine. And as a penalty killer and a power play guy, you're playing all 3 offensive phases, then yeah, I could warrant your $6 million paycheck, but
Not
Jeff Skinner, 11% of the cap. Jeez.
I mean, he lessened the blow of that a little bit this year with his comeback, but it's been rough.
Right. Well, that's it. If he's a consistent 30 goal scorer, it's a hard thing with long-term contracts. Is it's so spread out that you want success consistently throughout it. Oh, Olafson's going to be an RFA after this year. Oh man, I'm getting ahead of myself. I desperately want to play armchair GM, but that's going to be next week.
Next episode.
Oh my God. I'm just looking at that. It's like, oh, do I keep him? What do I do with him? Do I package him? Package him with both our first rounds for Shane Wright.
Number 1 center for the rest for another 20 years.
Oh yeah. Maybe. Number 2 because of Tage Thompson now.
Yeah, right. But who would have thought throwing that guy at center? Well, we're just going to try it out. Oh, it worked.
Yeah. One of the hardest positions, but hey,
right?
Good for him.
I can understand, like, yeah, he's still struggling on faceoffs, but I mean, come on, it's his first season as a center, but he's still lining up against some of the top lines and competing against those top lines. So,
right. Well, that's it. Like you're looking at going against Ryan O'Reilly, who's one of the best
holds a record
individual face-off guy. I mean, like that's who you're going against. It's not your Zemgus Girgensons on the 4th line and stuff,
right?
So it's not
your Charlie Coyle, the 3rd line center for Boston. You're going against Patrice Bergeron or against.
You had to bring up Charlie Coyle, didn't you?
I know. Believe me, I still wish he was a Sabre.
Wanted them to get Charlie Coyle when that trade happened.
Mm-hmm. And he's been there ever since.
Yeah, I know. Just looking at the face-off stats. Their face-off percentage for the year. You only have 2 people at 50% or more. Right, Cody Eakin. Oh man, this website is a pain to navigate. Oh, that's easier. Cody Eakin and Girgensons are the only people over 50%. Kyle Okposo is at 49.7%. I forgot about Mark Jankowski. Cousins. Oh, man. So Thompson is rocking a 40.5% face-off. Now, obviously, people above him have taken a lot less, like your Skinners, Russolainens, Hinestrozas, Jankowskis. Like, they're not taking as many as Thompson did. But still, 40%. You want to see that. You want to see that higher.
Oh, for sure.
I don't even need like a 60%. Give me in that 45 to 50% range with the amount of faceoffs he's taken. I'd live with that.
Right? Yeah. I mean, like we said, first season officially trying to play center. So hopefully he's only going to get better. I mean, he finally started doing, I think, what his body could get him to do, and get in front of the net, take shots, use that size to take that powerful shot instead of being this, I'm a tiny guy, I'm going to dangle through everybody and then lose the puck. Yes, you may be able to do that sometimes, but not every time. Use that size, bouncing guys off from the front of the net right in the slot, getting openings, taking shots. Man, what do you know? You got 37 goals.
Yeah, I don't know if it's necessarily his body because he's still doing some dangles. So it's like, wow, that you don't need to do it there, or it's wow, I can't believe you just pulled that off.
Exactly. Yes, that's what I mean. Like sometimes it's like, oh shit, okay, but then it's like, really?
When you got those mitts, so that's what's going to happen. I mean, Datsuk didn't have 100% deke percentage, so and he's one of the best danglers in history.
Right.
But I think it's more or less his mind has caught up to his body. He can make those decision-making skills have gotten a lot quicker, so he's making those decisions a lot quicker. And he's putting himself in positions like he is scoring from the net. He's scoring from behind the net. He's scoring from tough angles. He's scoring from high slot, wherever on the half wall. Like he's scoring all over the place. So like that's a goal scorer. Goal scorers find ways to put pucks in the net. Yep. And he has no doubtedly found that niche with him. So good for him. I pleasantly surprised. Trust me, I was just having this conversation with my dad, and we're just like, well, you want to trade him, bury him in minors, like he's garbage. Right. And then here he is scoring almost 40 goals. It's like, oh man. This offseason, I'd be giving him an extension. He's got one more year left on his contract.
I'd be locking him up now for sure. Yes, sir. I agree. I know. I remember when that Ryan O'Reilly trade went down. We're like, who's this guy? I mean, yeah, he was a prospect, but how many times do prospects actually pan out in the league that you hope for? We've had a few over the years. It's like, oh yeah, like what Josh Bailey thought he was going to be the next big thing.
Nick Baptiste. Luke Adam.
Yeah, like, oh man, these guys are all projected.
Andre Gregiani.
Yeah, oh my God. So it's like, we're leery about our prospects after the many years where we actually had decent prospects that came up to Rochester.
That's it. We were spoiled when in 2006 we had Vanek, Pominville, Roy, Gaustad, Miller. We had like half a team just get thrown into the fire, and they came out of it. Where after that, it was
let's try it again.
Man, Luke Adam, like how many more shots do you need? Baptiste, how many more shots do you need?
Look at him. How many goals are you going to score on your own team before you actually score one for
Michael
us?
Ryan.
Yeah, that's it. Michael Ryan did that too.
Yeah, Kennedy. Like,
yeah, oh my God.
How many more? Like, and then you can even do goalies with Jonas Enroth. David Leggio was high prospect. Like, these guys just never panned out. There's a couple other. Matt Hackett. It was he was in the trade with Johan Larsson in the Pominville
trade. Yep.
Like those guys were supposed to be pieces.
Yep.
So it's nice to have a prospect. Even got Peyton Krebs. He was a prospect in the Eichel trade.
Yeah.
He's doing pretty darn good too. I really like him.
Yeah.
It is tough though. It seems like they're shuffling lines around a lot lately.
Yes.
And they're trying to find a second line. Like it seems like they're trying to keep Thompson with Skinner. Kind of like how they did Eichel with Skinner when he was here.
Mm-hmm.
They're trying to find that third piece, and it seems like no matter what that third piece is, they're succeeding, whether it's Olofsson, whether it's Tucker, whoever. And I think they're just trying to find that second line like they always have been, whether it was with Reinhart or O'Reilly or whatever. They can't find that.
Right. That solid mesh. Second line.
Yeah. Yep. Whether it's Tuck with Krebs and Middlestead or Cousins or whatever. I mean, we'll dive into it. I'm so itching to be the armchair GM, but it's like Cousins. I need more out of him. I don't know if it's a sophomore slump, but man, people are so excited about him. They love him so much. It's like, what? Like he's doing what Gergensons did for the longest time, and everybody hated Gergensons for it.
Right, exactly.
So why is it different for Cousins? They're both first-round picks.
Yep.
Like you just don't want it to be Cousins, so we're in denial. Like I just don't. I see Cousins as a really good third liner, and that can try to play second line minutes, but so like I just don't. I don't know. It's a matter of what your expectations are with guys like him. Like, I think he's going to be your 18, 19, 20 goal scorer, which is very good. I'm not trying to say it's bad, which so that's very good. And I like him as a third line energy guy that's going to get you those goals. It's going to grind it out and wear guys down. And he's going to need other guys. And it's also like, what position is he going to play? Because he's been all over the line on wing and center. So it's like, what are your expectations? What role does he need to play? So he's probably, like, out of the core piece of the Sabres, he's probably my most disappointing piece.
I agree. And the way he played last year, where it's like, oh, he kind of starting to come on a little bit. All right. And you alluded to the sophomore slump. So maybe it's a little bit of that, or maybe it's just the fact that he's getting more time now. And I don't know if it's just that his body's not used to playing this much.
I'm sure like his workload has increased. Like, I don't know if his power play minutes are, or PK minutes, or anything. So, I mean, with it being a season like this, it's like Tage Thompson. We'll put him at center, see what happens. We'll do this with Dylan Cousins. We'll see what happens. If it works, amazing. Now we know. If it doesn't work, okay, now we know.
Yep.
So
try and see where we can get him. Yep.
Exactly. I'm just very curious what his role is moving forward with this team.
Yep, I agree. And then we got some prospects. Well, he played with Krebs in juniors, and I don't know if there was somebody else. Was it Quinn? Did he play with Quinn in juniors too?
Yeah.
So, I mean,
check Quinn. At least in the tournament.
Yeah, that's what I mean, in the World Juniors.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe going forward, those guys working together, being, I don't know, who knows?
Well, you got Cousins as a center, and you got Krebs as a center. So that's like, who's going to be moved to wing?
Right.
That's why it's like, you got to figure out what your role is. And first, got to figure out who's down the middle of your lineup at center, and then figure out, all right, well, who's left over.
Yeah. That was always what the issue the last few years is, like, who's our centers?
Luckily, the issue was we didn't have any centers.
Yeah.
The issue we have now is we have a lot of centers.
Yeah.
I mean, you got Gergensons, Eakin should be gone. But you got Gergensons, Krebs, Cousins, Middlestat, now Tage Thompson. Like, those are 5 centers that are currently on your NHL roster. Right. Not counting any free agents you might bring in, not counting any draft prospects, not counting anybody that's in Rochester. I don't think there's really any notable in Rochester right now anyways, because Mark Jankowski, I think, was just a stopgap. But even if you want to add him, he's a center too.
Yep.
So it's a good problem to have.
It is, finally. And, centers, if they know they can play center, they're usually pretty compatible on playing wing. So,
right. Exactly. You can move them around.
Okay.
It's easier to move a center to a wing than it is to move a wing to a center.
Yes, for sure. Let's
say,
look at yeah. I mean, because like Reinhardt, he's technically a center, and he was on the wing. I mean, how much of his ability was padded by being playing with Eichel too? But then when we played him at center last year, he, played well until we traded him.
He's playing wing over in Florida.
Is he playing wing?
Scorer now.
Yeah, he has had a hell of a year.
Good. I mean, you're healthy scratching Hall of Famer Joe Thornton,
right?
Because your team is so depth filled, and Claude Giroux's getting scratched some nights too.
Yeah, they added Claude Giroux. He's played 19 games, 21 points.
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah, like, come on.
That's cool if you're into that kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, Reinhardt had a career high year, so good for him.
Yeah.
I had no hard feelings against him. He was here for the long haul.
I'm okay if he wins it.
Yeah. I mean, I'd really like to see Florida win it because I want to see Thornton get it. So,
yeah, that's a good point. Yeah.
But
there's nobody on Florida that I hate.
Yeah. To be honest, I know Tampa's won it the last 2 years down there, but hey, if it's going to help grow the hockey market and keep it going and flourishing in Florida, and helping it spread, it'd be all right.
Yeah.
But, they've only been in the league 30 years, and probably 25 of those years they've sucked. So
they've had Ole Jokinen, Pavel Bure was there for a bit.
Yeah. But I think they made the playoff before the Sabres broke the record. The Florida Panthers had the longest drought of not making the playoffs. So
yeah. How many? I'm curious how many. Wow, there is a D in Florida. Not a fucking dyslexia moment there. I'm curious how many years they've made playoffs.
I think they went to the Cup one year. John Van Diesbroek.
They've been to the playoffs total 6 times in their 27. What? When was this article written? 27 seasons, 2012 to 2021. Wow, they've only made it 6 times. No,
yes, I mean, almost 30 years.
That's past 10 seasons. So past 10 seasons, they made the playoffs 3 times, 0 playoff series wins.
Yep. Well, they're the first team this year too to 120 points.
Something they just dominated. 1996, they made the Stanley Cup Finals. 1996 was the last time they won a playoff series.
Wow.
Against the Pittsburgh Penguins. Wow, I cannot talk today.
Was that the garbage truck coming? Good.
Yeah, total 6 times in their 27 seasons. Wow. Yeah.
I still always get a kick out of that stat. People are like, "Oh, the Leafs are going here and all of this and da da da." Hey, Sabres have won more playoff series than the Leafs have in the last 20 years, 25 years.
More recently, at least.
Yep.
All right, you want to do some awards?
Yeah. Well, I did have one other comment I wanted to say. So beginning of the year, Darlene started playing a little bit better toward the end of the year. So, we had, he's supposed to be this next best defenseman and hasn't played the greatest or lived up to his potential. Still, defensive play hasn't been the greatest, but he is the first Sabres defenseman to score 50 points since 95, 96. Gary Galley did it, which is pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. I'll take that. We can expect that out of him. I'm okay with that. And you can have other defensemen there that are, sound enough to play defense, which we talked about in the last episode.
Yeah. I'm not the biggest Darlene supporter, but he's turned it around pretty darn well. I'll give him some credit. He's
from the bonehead plays of the bad giveaways to leading to goals to the dumb mentality plays. It's like, why are you doing that? To, I guess his offensive prowess is showing up a little bit, but defense is mellowed out for the most part.
Yes, he's made strides to better himself. I mean, he was always going to be good offensively.
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
He's made strides in the defensive zone to better himself.
Yep. I'll say that. That's cool. We like having him as a 50-point getter.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I mean, everyone's like, oh, there's good potential of him of being a Norris candidate. Yes, that was the prospect. Yes, that could happen with any defenseman, which I can't stand that when they hand out the award for the Norris, because technically the Norris is the best defenseman. Well, what's the defenseman's job is to...
Roman Yossi's going to get it this year.
Well, yeah. Well, he's got almost 100 points.
90 some odd points.
Yeah. Well, I always hated that. Like, okay, he's a defenseman. He scored points. But defenseman's real job is to make defensive plays. I understand.
It's hard, but it's hard to put the stat on it. You can't even look plus minus is the closest thing. And that's still
right. Yeah.
Like, all right, your goalie just gave up a bonehead goal, but now it's a negative.
That's a ding on you. I know. I just
always unless you have a committee of guys watching every game, and I'm sure there is now with analytics, there's stats, but I don't know. It's so ingrained with the Norris Trophy that I do agree with you. It shouldn't be the best defenseman. It should be the best offensive defenseman. Like you should word it differently a little bit, or most points scored by a defenseman, just like not the Hart. Is it the Hart? Most points?
Art Ross.
Yeah. Like that. Like do that, except as a defenseman. You can keep it the Norris, just change
make it
description.
Yeah, make it like the Brian Leach Trophy because he was one of the guys that scored a ton of points as a defenseman, or the Bobby Orr or something.
Yeah. Who's the Norris has got to be named after somebody.
Yeah, I'm assuming I can't remember what some guy named Norris. It's like the Ted Lindsay's named
really going
after
off on freaking limb there.
Like the Ted Lindsay's named after Ted Lindsay, or the Mark Messier.
Yeah, it's crazy how that happens.
Yeah, like the Maurice Richard. I wonder who that's named after.
I wish that I had autocorrect on laptops because I am having the hardest time.
Dude, you're telling me. I do it all the time. Like, how come I can't figure out how to spell this word?
He's a longtime owner of the Detroit Red Wings, James E. Norris. I can't spell, I can't type, and I can't talk. Super.
Allergies fucked with your brain, bro.
Seriously.
Yep.
To the top defense player who demonstrates throughout the season the greatest all-round ability in the position. Okay. So I guess that's what it is. It doesn't.
It doesn't technically have to be you playing defense and stopping the opposition. So
yeah,
I guess. All right. Yeah, it's definitely going to be Roman Josi. Didn't he win it last year too?
I can let you know. Bobby Orr won it 8 straight years.
Yeah, he was like the first defenseman to score 50 goals.
Yeah, he was pretty good. Roman Josi. Oh, that's right. Josi won it in 19 and 20. Adam Fox of the Rangers.
Oh, that's right. Fox won it last year. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Which, not to get off topic, but damn, who would have thought the Rangers would be this good this year? They're fighting Carolina right now for the division.
They got a really good goalie.
Oh, yeah.
He's winning. Probably the best tandem of goalies, too.
Yeah, he's winning the Vezina, I think. And there was talks throwing him in the mix for the Hart.
Yeah. There's always talks of a goalie being in the Hart, though. I remember that when the one kid from Winnipeg a few years back.
Hellenbeck.
Yeah, there were talks about him. They want there to be a goalie. They want there to be that storyline. Because when was the last time they won? Goalie won it? Was it Hasek?
Nah, I think Carey Price has won it, and Jose Theodore. But Jose Theodore played like 70 games that year.
When was this? Like how bad?
Yeah, what was the rest year? Of the right? What was the rest of the league looking like that Jose Theodore won the Hart? Yeah, I want to say Carey Price has won it more recent.
That makes sense. I didn't think of him.
Yeah, what Hasek won the Vezina, the gold medal, and the Hart, what, in 98? For the Czech Republic.
Yeah. Gretzky. Shocker. Hasek won it twice.
Did you really?
96, 97, and 97, 98. 2 consecutive years.
Nice.
Jose Theodore. Oh my god. It's just seeing his name.
Right? It's like that's not a guy that you expected to win the Hart. 2001,
2002. Yeah, Carey Price won in 14, 15. Then yeah, Jose. It's weird seeing Joe Thornton on here in 0506 because he's the only one that was traded. Like, how do you feel, Boston, that you traded the Hart winner?
Yep. Yeah, how many Hart winners have been traded?
He's the only one. Well, that was traded mid-season.
Mid-season, yeah. Season that he won it.
Only one. How bad was that 2001, 2002 year? Like, that just pisses me off. Like, it pisses me off way more than it should.
I got a good kick out of, too, that the Hobey Baker finalists this year. Did the kid that won it, was it that kid from Minnesota or whatever? Minnesota State?
Minnesota Duluth or whatever.
Yeah, that goalie. And that was the first Hobey Baker goalie since Ryan Miller.
All right, so I'm just looking at Montreal because he won it with Montreal, right, Jose?
Yeah. Yes.
They only had 36 wins. Like, they were the second worst team in the division. We were the worst, but only by one game. Like, they didn't even win the division, let alone the conference. Oh, they're the 8th team into the playoffs. They must have went on some huge run in the playoffs.
But shouldn't those are
Nope.
season?
They won one game. Yeah, they won. They beat Boston. 8th seed beat first seed. And then they lost to Carolina.
Carolina.
Win playoffs? They're the Stanley Cup Finals that year?
Yeah, they lost to Detroit.
All right, I'm just looking at like other winners. So it's notable names. Jerome McGinley, Saku Koivu, a murderer, Nicholas Lidstrom. The murderer was Danny Heatley, if you couldn't get that.
I do.
Michael Pekka, Nicholas Lidstrom.
Pekka won the Hart.
I don't even know what the Lester Patrick Trophy is, but Herb Brooks won it. Chris Chelios. Oh, there is an NHL plus minus award. I wonder if they still do it.
It's definitely not Rasmus Ristolainen.
He wasn't even the first team goalie. Patrick Waugh was. 96 points for Ginla. Naslin had 90. Todd Bertuzzi, another murderer. He did on the ice. Jose Theodore, he played 67 games. He 4th in the league in goals against. I'm not even going to go through wins because he's far down the list. Dominik Hasek had 41 wins compared to Jose Theodore's 30 wins.
What? Then how the hell did he win the Hart?
Shutouts, he had 7, but that's second to Patrick Waugh's 9. I'm going to go down a rabbit hole of this, and it's just going to piss me off so much. Debuts, man. Danny Heatley, Kovalchuk, Alexei Podolak, Tallinder, Datsuk, Sean Avery, Brian Gianta, Rafi Torres, Tascala. Wow. Rick Tocchet, that was his last games that year. Yeah. What? How did he win it?
Yep. Yeah. When you hear that, Jose Theodore, MVP of the league.
I'm not done with this rabbit hole. I'm gonna keep going down this, and it's gonna piss me off. I'm gonna start a whole podcast that hates Jose Theodore. Fucking asshole. Shouldn't have won it. I don't care who else should have won. Like, what, you got it because you played the most games as a goalie. You weren't leading in any stat.
Yeah.
Except games played. That shouldn't win you a freaking trophy like that.
Right. And it's not like it, unless it was like your massive turnaround to begin to end the season that got them to the playoffs.
Right. Like, that's it. Like, if there was a deep playoff run, I could maybe see it then.
Right. Or even just like them being out of the race, and he won like 16 in a row or 17 in a row or something, you know?
Oh, man. That makes me mad.
Yep.
That makes me so mad. It should have been Hasek. Should have had 3.
Shoulda. But all right, we'll get back to our original topic and talk about our season-ending awards.
Yeah. Let's get away from that freaking pile of dirt. Let's get to our better-looking pile of dirt.
Yeah, our polished turd.
Yes.
It's still a turd, but
we love it. It looks better.
It just looks better. So I'm assuming we're both going to say that our MVP is probably Tage Thompson.
I'm going to say no.
No?
Dark.
Oh, all right. Let's see. Let's hear your devil's advocate here.
Craig Anderson.
Oh, all right.
Because without him, we were not even a polished freaking dirt. We were diarrhea spread out throughout the entire rink. Couldn't stop a beach ball. Like, if we had Craig Anderson all year, we probably would have been
in the hunt.
Yes, in the hunt.
Because the East was very tough this year.
Yeah,
all the teams that made it from the East all had 100 points.
We would have been there. We would have been playing meaningful games instead of bragging rights games.
Right.
So Yeah, I'm going with Craig Anderson.
I like it. Yeah, because we had another season this year again with 7 different
Something like
goalies.
that, yeah.
Just like Jesus. And I guess, he maybe found the fountain of youth. So is it going to last maybe next year if he decides to come back? Who knows?
We'll find out next week on Armchair GM.
Yeah,
I want to do it so badly.
I like that one. That's a
or
good.
Not next
week,
week, 2 weeks, whatever it is.
Yeah, I do like that. It's a good pick.
Yeah,
he definitely was a game changer. I think I always alluded to this over the years when you always had an elite goalie, that it seemed like the players played different when you had a different goalie in net. And they always say, no, we always back whoever's back there, but
grip the stick harder. You do plays that you don't normally do because you have to be aware of who you're playing with at all times. And
exactly. You're telling me the players didn't play different when Miller or Baran was in net.
Mm-hmm.
So whether having him back there, regardless if he's is the best goalie at the time, but he's the best in our situation. So I think the guys could kind of rely on that a little bit, which is a nice thing for a change, not after having a goalie that you could rely on over the last few years.
Yeah.
Allmark, who was supposed to be this next good thing, it could never stay healthy.
Yeah. Which even him going to Boston, I got no ill will towards him. He just couldn't stay healthy.
Probably most improved player, I'm going to say Skinner, after barely playing any time last year to producing this year. So
I gotta say Tage Thompson.
Which
for obvious reasons. I mean, there's a lot of candidates for it. You could easily go Okposo.
Yep.
You could go Darlene. I mean, you could even go Yuki Haru if you wanted to, too.
Yeah, that's a good one, too.
But yeah, so there's plenty of answers, especially the way the season has progressed. There's a lot of answers.
Yep. Norris, are we saying Darlene?
I mean, I'm not. I'm going with my man crush, Matthias Samuelson. I fucking love that kid. So I'm going with my boy. I'm jumping on the Samuelson train. He's my new Palmerville.
All right. What numbers he
sign him long term with them? He wears 23.
There you go. All right. You gonna get a Samuelson jersey then?
I would love to. 100%. Like I think
all right,
I would get a Samuelson jersey. Yeah, I'm jumping on that before he scores a shorthanded series clinching goal. Everybody jumped on a Palmerville wagon as soon as you score that. I was on that wagon.
You're already there before. Else. Yep, I know. I can attest. It's Jake's boy. It's been for a long time.
You're my boy, Blue.
Who's a rookie this year?
Krebs technically was. Samuelson was. Power. Who else? Is that really it?
Yeah, Cousins doesn't count because he played more than 25% of the games.
I mean, you've had Russellline and Quinn. I think Paterka came up once. Is Fitzgerald a rookie?
I don't know.
I mean, either way, I'm going with Samuelson.
Yeah, that's who I would pick too.
But Peyton Krebs is a very good rookie too. I really like his play.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd go with Samuelson.
For not really. I mean, he didn't do too much in Vegas, but it's not that he didn't do too much. It's really he didn't have the opportunity because
he was never given the opportunity.
He was maybe a fourth liner depth, third liner at the most. So on a stacked roster like they have, other than their injury plague season that they had, he wasn't getting the minutes. So he's here. He's at playing, which is huge. So
I mean, if Owen Power was here all season, it'd probably be Owen Power, but
right.
I'm not going to give it to you off of 5 games.
5 games, yeah. So maybe next year.
Yeah. We'll come back in a year.
Yeah. Coach of the year. Oh, man. Matt Ellis.
Michael Pekka in Rochester.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, I mean your Rocket Richard is going to go to Tage.
Yep. Unless Skinner has 5 goals in the next 2 games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit. Your Selke
So it's what, the best defensive
player, yeah. I mean, I gotta go with probably Gergensons.
Right. He's always then that 200-foot player.
Yeah.
Which I love, but never good enough. Like, it's like, all right, come on, dude. Can you do it more? It's like, for what we projected.
Our next episode, Armchair GM. Oh, I'm so pumped. I'm going to have like a whole notebook of shit. My analytics department's working on it right now.
All right, good. You got that whiteboard?
Yeah. I got my draft board going.
There you go. What else you got? What other awards?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, you got
right.
all
I mean,
the smaller ones, but
yeah, you got the Vezina, but yeah, that's
Arundel.
Yep. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. No.
Subban.
Yep. Yeah. It's just end of the season. I know you keep hearing all these guys we talked about last week not want the season to end because they're having fun and things are going great. But like you said, it's like, no, let's get it over with, see what moves we're going to make, see what kind of cap space we got, who we're going to trade for, sign, draft.
Yeah, as exciting as it is exciting. It's just as exciting to look to see what the future can bring. And right now it's fun, but this fun doesn't matter.
Yeah, it means nothing. We're not playing next month.
Right. So let's get moving on to the future, and let's make it so that way next year, this time, it does matter.
Yep, exactly. Next year, this time, we're playing meaningful games, fighting for a playoff spot. Maybe saying, hey, I can't wait till next month in May when we're competing in the playoffs.
Yeah, I can't wait to see what Tuck looks like in the playoffs. And
right. Which
wearing a Sabres uniform, I mean, he did in Vegas, but
yeah, say he was good in the playoffs for Vegas. So let's see if he's got that next level, which I would love to see.
Yep.
I mean, so deep down inside, we've all said, we always wanted to see Eichel in the playoffs, and we're like, all right, we're kind of happy he went to Vegas and he's going to eventually finally get into the playoffs. But this year, no, I don't want to see it.
Yeah,
just the way he acted there. So
he's gonna get it. It's just give us this 1 year.
Yeah. Let us be petty a little bit longer.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So we'll see. And I remember when he got traded there, they asked him, oh, how's it feel you're going to be in the same division now playing with Connor McDavid? He's like, I don't know. That doesn't really mean anything to me. So, but
yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yep.
Got 2 more games left or whatever it is, 3 more games for them. They'll be golfing with us.
Yep. I saw a good one today. It was Jack Eichel's headshot and somebody changed it to him wearing a McDonald's hat.
Well, that's like, it's going to be great if things go the way that they should go. Is this year he missed the playoffs as well as we do. And then next year we both make the playoffs. Like, that'd be cool.
Right.
Have a nice story. Be like, what if they play each other in the Stanley Cup finals? Like, that'd be amazing.
Right.
That'd be like the freaking tabloids would write themselves.
Sure would. I'd like that. I just like to be back in the playoffs. I like to play meaningful hockey again.
It's funny. I come up on like my memories on Facebook and I'm criticizing things like, oh, Connolly and Roy need to get off the power play. This is why we're going to get swept. And it's like, man, that's how long ago it was. Is I was complaining about guys like Connolly and Roy on the power play. That was the last team we had in the playoffs. Nathan Gerby, Miller, Myers, I think Palmville, Steve Ott. Crazy.
Yeah, 11 years ago.
Forever ago.
Yeah, kids almost that age.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Your kids have never seen a Sabres playoff game.
Nope, but they didn't see how Bills won either, and now look at them. They're about
Right?
to possibly see a Bills Super Bowl. So
Yeah. I can get behind that.
for
But
sure.
not this year in Madden.
Listen,
Sorry. Sorry.
you may have beaten me in Madden, but my receivers are the ones that lost it.
Oh, yes, they did.
Dropping that Hail Mary. Oh man, that's me. I'm done. Fuck this show. I'm done. Sign off.
All right. Well, it's been a good season. Better than we thought it was going to be. It was actually fun to watch the Sabres for once after the last few years, or it's been just depressing. So this is shades to come. I'm very happy. Finally, maybe have a GM in there that actually maybe knows what he's doing. Who knows? But we'll see. I'm hopeful for once in a long time. That's for sure. Anything else you want to add?
Nope.
No?
Good.
All right, man. Well, everybody, thanks for tuning in. We look forward to seeing you next time. Adios.